Okay, now what I'm going to do is I've taken the basic equation there, and I'm now going to change it to an equation I'll write in green underneath it here. Y equals 2x squared. Okay, so how does that change our over-up table? There's our over-up table from before. Okay, here's all that does to change it. If we go over 1, we'll go up 2 times 1 squared. Over 2, up 2 times 2 squared. Over 3, up 2 times 3 squared. Okay, and that's because over here we have a 2 in front of the number. Okay, if we're going to the left, then it'll be 2 times negative 1 squared. 2 times negative 2 squared, etc. And because a negative squared is the same as a positive squared, this gives us up 2, up 8. Remember to do 2 squared first. 3 squared is 9 doubled. Negative 1 squared, negative 2 squared is 4 doubled. And if I went to the 3 to the left, it would be 2 times negative 3 squared, which equals positive 18. So if I take that up to my graph, all that happens is when I go over 1, instead of going up 1 this time, I'm going to go up 2. And instead of going up 2, over 2 and up 2 squared, I go up twice 2 squared, which puts it up to 8. Over 3, instead of going up 3 squared, I put up twice 3 squared, and now that's going to put it way up to 18. And what I get here is a parabola that's going up faster. Okay, so this is y equals x squared. This is y equals 2x squared. And the bigger that number, the faster it goes up. Now let's try in blue here. Y equals 1/2 x squared. Okay, well, my over-up table then is going to have a series of 1/2s, 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 1/2s in front. So if I go over 1, it'll go up 1/2 1 squared. Over 2, it'll go half over 2 squared. Over 3, it'll go a half times 3 squared, which is 4.5, which is 2, which is a half. And if I went to the left 3, it'd be a half times negative 3 squared, which is also 4.5. So going to the left and going to the right doesn't make too much difference. What happens here is go over 1, you go up a half. Go over 2, you go up 2. Go over 3, you go up 4.5. And your parabola looks like that on both sides. So you're going up half as fast. So that's y equals a half x squared. Okay. Now the last one I'm going to do in orange here. Y equals negative x squared. Okay. So what happens is your over-up table becomes your over-down table now. And you're going to have a negative sign in each one in front of these guys. So if I go over 1, it'll be negative 1 squared. Negative 2 squared. Negative 3 squared. If I go to the left, the square root of negative 1 is, the square of negative 1 is 1, and then this negative sign still changes it to negative 1. Okay, if I went to the left 2, negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Think of this as the opposite of positive 4, so that's negative 4. Okay, so what happens on my graph is I go over 1, instead of going up 1, I go down 1. Over 1 instead of up 1, I go down 1. Over 2 instead of up 4, I go down 4. Down 4. Over 3 instead of going up 9, I go down 9. And down 9. And I get an unhappy parabola. It's facing downwards, it's a negative unhappy parabola. Okay, so if you look at that whole thing there, you will see that the sign in front of the x squared determines how fast the shape goes up and down. And that works for all graphs, no matter what you're looking at.